So Tony, what's it like to be a genius?
To be honest, our father's generation wanted what their fathers didn't have. And our generation wanted, or wants, what our fathers had. And my father didn't have anyone but me.
He's gonna ask me if I've seen it before. The video. I have. He knows I have. It's an interview technique. He's trying to excite me.
Yes, I've seen it.
This isn't my first interview.
What do you think his relationship with his father was like?
I don't know. I never knew his father.
I never knew him. We had one class together in college. A semester of Intro to Logic, a requirement for English majors. Well, math was the requirement. Intro to Logic was the class we all took. It was easy. He was easy to talk to. He sat next to me the first day and every day after that. He had a thing for me, but it was okay. He was harmless.
Did he talk to you at all before he...
No, he didn't.
Before he overdosed, Tony Malengon made no will, but left a letter leaving me the owner of 25 canvases. 25 Tony Malengon canvases worth 20 grand 2 weeks ago, almost 50 million today. This man a complete stranger 2 weeks ago. Now, I can only guess what.
You're very pretty.
This is Tony's father, by the way. That was also public knowledge, and me not taking the paintings well. He heard that in an interview, which made him call me a week ago, which brought me to this little visit. I wouldn't have agreed to meet in person if it weren't for the fact that Tony's funeral was closed casket. I thought I owed it to him. He needed to see me.
You're very pretty.
Thank you.
I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just thought I'd say it. This is a great thing you're doing. Very noble of you. You must have had strong parents.
I guess so.
A parent needs to be strong. I'm sure you had disagreements with your parents.
Sure.
It's important. Everybody wants to be their kid's best friend. I hate to think about where my kids would have ended up if I hadn't had my foot up there.
Up what? Up your... Kidding. Jerry's crazy. So how was the apartment?
It was nice.
You wonder how it gets so nice? You wonder?
Oh, I don't know.
There's never anyone there.
It's true. Tony and his father didn't really get along. But don't buy this whole brother-sister act. They weren't exactly peas in a pod either. She's already sold nearly $500,000 worth of his paintings. And she's looking to make even more now that he's dead. There's a reason he didn't leave anything to his family. They're
all the same. The family, the lawyers, the dealers, Geez, I ended up talking to all of them. Anyway, they all thought the same thing. I was the pretty girl Tony could never get. Which is true, in a way. They made the mistake of thinking I was interested now. I guess that's what it looked like, from a distance. If you didn't know anything, which they didn't. Which is why they were all pushing and shoving each other. Because they thought they'd get the paintings by pushing the others further away from me. But they didn't realize I was already the farthest. What I did with the paintings had nothing to do with Tony. So that the paintings had nothing to do with me. I hadn't even seen them, but they meant something to somebody. So, it's been half a semester with Tony, and now, a little longer. They're all more comfortable with me after that. Maybe that wasn't a good thing. But I really couldn't turn them down. They were grieving, or they appeared to be grieving, so I had to appear to listen. So I listened. Listened to the family, the dealers, the press, the family, the friends, the dealers, the press, I guess they were listening too. I meet with the father, then out of nowhere get a call from the sister. I'd hang up on the sister and the phone would ring again from a dealer. I'd hang up on the dealer and 5 more news stations wanted interviews. And every new interview spread 10 new ex-girlfriends.
So nice to finally meet you.
It wasn't a mystery what they wanted. All they needed was the slightest little inkling that I was listening, and they dropped everything they were doing to join the race of being my best friend. It could have happened to anyone. It just happened to be me. So they called. They found an old picture of Tony's, an old baseball mitt of his. Frozen pizza he never made. Like I could about any of these things. Like they could about any of these things. They're excuses. Excuses to talk about Tony, but I knew. And they knew. They didn't really want to talk about Tony. They wanted to talk about 25 canvases. They wanted to talk about $50 million. They wanted to talk to me. So we talked. We talked about Tony, which didn't give us much to talk about.
He was really into jazz. Well, actually, he was really into Miles Davis.
They used to read those Mango books. You know, those comics.
He'd cut off their heads really violently, and then he would drown them in spit and just kind of watch them squirm.
He collected candles.
I understand they do that with porn. That's what I've heard.
You ever listen to so many stories you forgot who told them? When I listened to so many stories, I thought they were mine. And their Tony stories became my Tony stories.
One summer, Tony lost his ID and could only go to
bars that knew him. I think he went to this place called Blarney's and the Kitty Cat Club. He had a cat named Hunter.
He didn't like dogs. He got bit by this Rottweiler when he was 8. He has a scar on his...
All up and down his arms from when he used to cut himself. He used
The paintbrush, like this.
He'd lock himself up in the basement for 8 or 9 hours at a time just painting, and
You can see the fruits of it. His catalog is enormous. Just
And a shitload of paintings. Part of my
Spanish and a little bit of Portuguese. He spent some time in Lisbon, if I remember. He was
very lonely, especially in the last couple of years.
I would especially think so in the last couple of years. He wrote a letter to his father.
Here it is.
And he never wrote him letters. He never wrote letters, except to his lawyer.
He didn't trust anyone. He was very paranoid, did a lot of self-medicating. I told him to write a will, which brings me to you.
I don't know the exact amount.
In the millions?
Around that. Yes, but
Something was missing. What were we talking about? That's it. I thought I knew. Did I? Stupid little stories. Not even stories. They couldn't be stories. How could they be? I'd be telling them for the first time.
I gave him a pencil the first day.
Why?
Because he asked for one.
Is that supposed to be his way
Breaking the ice? I think so.
That's a nice way of putting it.
What do you mean?
I'm sure he wanted something else.
How could you tell?
I'm serious though. When he drew his uppercase D's, they looked like angry Russian children. I don't even know what that looks like, but I knew when he did it. He always used to do these doodles in his notebooks. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I guess they were good. I remember them being good. I took a class in art history, a couple classes in art. Expressionism, Neo-Expressionism. What else is there? I'm especially a fan of Neo-Expressionism. I went to the Whitney a couple times. I've seen a couple Basquiats.
I didn't have anything. All my Tony stories were just stories about me. Did they notice?
Where did you say you grew up?
What?
Where'd you grow up?
Stillwater,
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Wisconsin.
I don't think there is a Stillwater, Wisconsin.
How many?
2 brothers.
And a sister?
I'm the sister.
Varsity as a freshman, huh?
It wasn't really like that.
What do you mean?
My father was the coach.
You know, I coached Tony's Little League team when he was 5.
Really?
He loved it.
So you've never even considered it?
Me? No.
A girl like you could make a killing.
Well, thank you.
Aw, you're cute, Nick.
So you haven't seen the paintings?
No.
There's one of you.
How can you tell?
It has your name on it.
So, what brought you to Minnesota?
Well, it's kind of a long story.
I'd like to hear it.
I visited Michigan, California, and Chicago, but I decided on here because it was
No, Tony applied to a school in Iowa, but it didn't work out. You know, the cows.
So what about Minnesota, Nick?
The truth is,
Yeah?
and I guess I've learned this.
Yes?
When you do something for a reason you don't necessarily believe in, over time you eventually start believing in it, or you forget what you were trying to believe, and then it just becomes what it is.
What the hell does that mean?
So you're right.
You know, Tony started painting when he was 3. Actually, when he was 2, he used to smear soap suds on the wall of the bathtub.
So what's the story?
What story?
The one that you wrote.
Well, it's about this girl. Well, it's kind of about this girl. It's really about dealing with stuff that you're given.
What about this girl?
Well, she's in high school, and she gets this guy that all the other girls want.
The girl who gets the guy.
It's about this girl, Shelly. Her name's Shelly, and she's in high school, and she has this boyfriend, and she's smart. She has a lot of things going for her.
So it's about you, Nick.
No. I mean, yes, it's a little about me, but...
It sounds like you.
Keep going.
But she's not me. See, this stuff she has demands time from her. And it comes down to this boyfriend who wants to spend time with her, and
Go on.
Because it's not really about the boyfriend, like I said before, or the fact that she's pretty. She's trying to find time. She's trying to make space to figure out who she is. That sounds bad, but she's trying to figure out who she is, who she can be outside of her boyfriend. Yes, but he's not really her boyfriend. He represents her inability to... He's only there because
She's pretty.
Yes, but...
This is autobiographical, right?
no, but...
No offense, Nick, but that's pretty boring.
Then what happens?
That's what happens.
That's all?
That's all, but there's more to it.
So when did boys start noticing you.
You're having a hard time explaining it.
14. It was a long time ago.
Tony never had a problem explaining his work.
I wasn't really that girl.
When did Tony start noticing you?
Noticing me how?
That explains it.
You're very pretty.
No.
You're the pretty girl.
No.
The pretty girl who's pretty smart, who pretty much got everything she wanted.
I don't think so.
And Tony?
It wasn't about that.
What did you think it was about?
Do you mind if I ask? About what?
Tony.
Who?
Tony.
What?
Me.
You.
Me, Nicola. What do you think of me?
What?
It's been 4.5 weeks. What are you waiting for?
What wait?
You know who I am. That's what this is all about, isn't it? You know, I'm not a bad guy. I mean, Tony and I had our differences, but what family doesn't? So why the wait?
I don't know what you're talking about.
4.5 weeks.
So what do you want, Nick?
4.5 weeks.
Really, what do you want?
I don't know.
Don't know what?
I don't know what to say.
Oh, I got that. That's actually the first thing I got about you. But you know, Nick, I don't believe it. I think you always know what to say, you just don't. So I want to know why. Why don't you say it?
You're very pretty.
It's been 4.5 weeks. What are you waiting for?
That explains it.
4.5 weeks.
What?
You didn't think that I would notice?
What?
You didn't think I was counting?
You're smart, but not like he was.
What could you possibly be thinking about all this time?
But you're beautiful.
What?
It's not like that.
Come on, Nick.
So that's why you... No. That's why you didn't...
No.
What'd you think it was about? I want to know. What's it about?
I never cared about that stuff. It wasn't like that.
You're tired of it.
What?
Tired of getting things because you're pretty.
No.
That's why you didn't take the paintings.
No.
Paintings.
No.
The paintings.
No.
Do you mind if I ask? What's keeping you from the paintings?
Sign here.
It all came down to this. Then it was over. It took 4.5 weeks. This was the first time I'd seen them. People give you money for all sorts of reasons. I know what you're thinking, no. It's not true. They didn't take
They didn't take the money.